Blake Leibel is a graphic novelist with a fascination for serial killers. Did his imagination and research into the minds of killers turn him into a murderer here at his condo in West Hollywood? A woman's lifeless body is discovered by Los Angeles County Sheriff deputies inside the West Hollywood apartment of Hollywood horror writer Blake Leibel.
The victim's remains were disfigured.
Disfigured but recognizable to be that of Ayanna Kazian, his girlfriend and mother of their just 3-week-old baby. In an interview with Crime Watch Daily, LA Sheriff's Captain Stephen Katz is revealing some of the chilling and gruesome details for the very first time.
As the homicide detectives continued to process the crime scene and upon examination of the victim's remains, they found that the victim's body was devoid of any marked quantity of blood.
Most disturbing of all, Captain Katz confirms to us that Ayanna's body has been drained of blood.
This is vampiric. This is as gruesome as it gets. He had actually drained the blood out of her.
Journalist Mark Ebner viewed the grisly crime scene photos firsthand.
And the reports are even more gruesome because it's told that he was actually cutting off pieces of her body. He was walking down the hall with actual body tissue and throwing it into the garbage chute.
I can tell you that the crime scene extended outside of the apartment, and that was ultimately examined and collected by our crime lab.
Blake Leibel arrested, now charged with murder, mayhem, and torture of Ayanna Kazian. Mark Ebner's sources in the Hollywood writing world say the bloody and brutal elements of the crime scene mirror the graphic words and images in Blake Leibel's horror stories, especially in his novel entitled Syndrome.
I've talked to a lot of people that knew Blake, a lot of people in the industry. Many of these people actually worked with him. And quite frankly, a lot of these people were freaked out by him because the things that he put into his graphic novel that he conceptualized, in many ways, wound up being, for all appearances, the playbook for his crime.
An industry insider who wants his identity shielded to protect his well-being and professional reputation recalls meeting the edgy writer for the first time.
When my friends met Blake Leibel at the Chateau Marmont, they said, "You've got to meet this guy. He's crazy, he's unbelievable." And sure enough, he was crazy, and he was completely unbelievable, and also talented.
But this man in the shadows says, as he started to hang out with Blake, the conversations took a dark and depraved turn.
He was consistently saying things that would make me feel uncomfortable.
Is there an example that you could give us on something that just gave you the chills?
I remember a pool party, and we're all standing around by the pool. It's a nice cocktail party, people having drinks. And Blake just sort of interrupts the conversation to describe some scene of sexual depravity, of like having a woman strung up, hanging her upside down by her feet, so all the blood rushed to her head.
And drawing and writing about it, especially in his recent book.
When his book published, which was the big event at Comic-Con, those bind, torture, kill ideas are in his book, Syndrome.
With a subject matter that takes murder and multiplies it.
The whole premise of Syndrome is that serial killers are being kept on like a game reserve, a controlled property, where they can be allowed to, live their lives.
Basically, serial killer superheroes, according to his now former friend.
So the whole thing kind of imagines a very paranoid criminal point of view that made me really, really uncomfortable because his heroes were not the good guys.
But this industry insider claims it's not just the words of Blake's stories that are disturbing, it's the images too. And there's one particular graphic sketch that stands out. An image of blood dripping from a female hand. And under it, the author's caption, "In the end, we all become monsters." And he says Blake did.
And I started to really think to myself, like, I think he lives in West Hollywood, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's got some kind of secret house with a woman tied up.
Or in this case, according to cops, dead.
When the news broke and you heard about this brutal, savage act, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Aha. I mean, I literally said, of course. No if you'll excuse me.
Could this be a possible psychotic example of life imitating art?
Exactly how his girlfriend died, the draining of the blood. How similar was it to what you read and saw?
It was similar enough that anybody would draw a connection between the two.
Blake's attorney and longtime friend Jeremy Tenzer claims Blake Leibel may have written about monsters, but he certainly wasn't one.
The misconception that as an artist, he's this dark, evil guy, when really he's not. I mean, sure, he makes violent, beautiful imagery, but to try to take a story from one of his many stories and pin it on him and say, this is our psycho pump, as he would call the character, or psycho killer, is ludicrous.
I think people are correlating and saying it's eerily similar to his work.
Every director, every graphic novelist, anybody out there who's creative, it's a creative outlet. It's absurd to draw comparisons.
Jeremy, who has known Blake for more than 15 years, says no one can be sure what exactly happened in that apartment.
It sounds like you believe he's innocent.
This is not about innocence or guilt. What I'm saying is something else is going on here. If he was the person who did it, something pushed him. Somebody pushed him.
Blake Leibel is being held without bail at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility in downtown Los Angeles. His baby girl is now with Ayana's mother. He faces charges of mayhem, murder, and torture in the death of Ayana Kazian. He has pled not guilty to all charges. But it appears this writer was hoping for a different Hollywood ending. Since his arrest, he's been refusing to leave his jail cell. But Blake Leibel will have to come out of hiding to face murder charges in court.
There's a possibility of forcing him to exit his cell in order to attend the court proceeding.
Blake Leibel still faces a felony rape charge in a separate alleged incident that occurred 6 days prior to the death of Ayana Kazian. In an odd twist, as in all good Hollywood stories, Blake's novel Syndrome has seen a rise in sales since his arrest.